hot in the shop today. Sweating. Well, the Honda ST1100, I had a tip over. Went down, seen my nephew that I ride bikes with, and his wife was there. So we were outside talking, and it was after dark. So I went to leave. I went out. They have a big wide driveway there, and then it goes onto the road. And I went out there, and what happened was, I'm kind of looking like, where is it that you can get down onto the road? It's sloped. He has a business, so he has an in and out. In the middle is a curb, and I wasn't sure. I'm looking at it, and that windshield is tinted, so it's a little harder to see. I wished it was clear. So anyway, I thought, well, I'll go a little bit left as I pull out. Sure enough, I just cut it a little bit too much. It started over. I couldn't hold it. The bike went over on its side. Just a couple little scrapes, nothing to even, you know, dress up or anything, so I ain't worried about that. The boots I have with the big heels work great, but try to get in there and get the controls, the kickstand, with those boots, I can't find it, I can't get it, so I'm going to remedy that. But after I show this, then I'll show, and I have my GoPro, and I'll show what happened when I left his place and went over there and then laid it on its side. Okay, got to talk to him. Here he had taken a bike ride with a group. Him and his wife, so they were out on the road today. He said he's going to come up tomorrow and we'll go for a ride. I told him I would. We'll go for a ride. Where the heck's down there? Well, I can get down this way. Oh, God. Yeah. No, I'm okay. Okay. how I'm fixing this to get better control over my kickstand and my shifter. The brake pedal ain't bad on that side, but this side, I'll show you what I'm doing. So down here, you can see on the kickstand, you have this little pad, and you have, this is a ball on this. That's all you have when you put it up. So I clamped this on here with a breeze clamp real tight, and I knew about the length I wanted, so I made a rod on the, well, I had this rod, and then I rounded it on the lathe, and then I took a file and went over it, but it sticks out that much further. Let me see. No, it's cooled down because I just but I welded it on both sides. Now when I pull it up, it sticks clear out here, and I sat on a bike and just tried it. I can do it perfect. It's right here. Look, it was clear back under to right here where the end of my finger is. Right there is that little knob. That's all you have to grab a hold of back here, and you got this footrest right here. So it's like you got to put your foot straight up and down and push back and go at it. This, if it would have been up, it would have been all right. It'd been better. And then when I put it down, I can reach it so easy. Over here, now that it's here, I can reach it real good. And I tried it, it works. That's perfect. So I'm going to wire brush that and then paint it, hit it with some paint. Then for my gear shifter, look how short that little thing is. And now I'm wearing big boots, you know. But even with my tennis shoes, it's hard. Boy, it's hard to get under here. So your foot peg's right here, and you can see the back of the foot peg. And if you look straight up here, this is further back in. That's why I said you got to kind of turn your toe in a little bit to get it. Well, I don't want to modify this. This piece isn't bolted on, it's welded on. It's all aluminum. So what I'm going to do is get some Armor On spray in here, and I'm going to get this rubber off first. Then another thing I noticed is when I put this kickstand down here and I put it in the yard, man, this thing sinks in. It's so small. And when it's up, that doesn't hurt to have something extra here. So I think what I'm going to do is I have this piece of metal here that I use when I'm welding so it don't hit this carpet and catch it on fire. I think I'm going to take a piece of it. I'm going to take a tracing of this side, and I'm going to bring it out a lot bigger, about that far. Make it that wide, clear around, maybe a little bit extra back here, even a little extra in the front. But it'll be a piece that'll fit right on there, and I can weld it up. Be good, you know, it'll be a bigger thing. I know you can buy those ones that you put down and put that on there. You could probably zip tie it on there and leave it on. But I think this would be the best way. This plate's made out of 13/16 steel, mild steel. And right here, I'm going to bend it a little bit. But first, I want to try to make sure. So I'm going to take a gum band and just put this on here and make sure that it doesn't end up being too much weight on the kickstand, that it'll want to come down. Because if you was riding and this was to come down, I believe it'll shut your motorcycle off. So that's about in the spot where it would be. Nope, it ain't going to make a difference. It'll go up. Yeah, that'll stay. So now I know I can just put it right here, clamp it, and go ahead and put some weld on it, the whole, you know, around it, and then probably grind it and blend it in, and that will take care of putting it down on dirt. Because the grass, it'll sink right in if the grass is soft, you know, if you've had rain. So that'll take care of that. It's been really hot here in western Pennsylvania. It's been 92, 93 days. At night it goes down maybe 78, something like that, 76. And for us, that's hot. So, just about finished up with the Honda. The one thing I did was I painted the kickstand. I got it. It works great, looks good. But now I want to extend my gear shift. You have to use aluminum to make this, because if you use steel, it's kind of heavy. And when you use this gear shift on this bike, because it's a sport touring, that's sport, it's short stroke. The throttle's short stroke. You have to be careful with it. And that's the thing about the sporty thing, because if you have a newer Harley and it has like touring, sport, I watched a guy that had a brand new bike, and he was reviewing it, and he said that he hit the sport button and he said everything's shorter. He said, man, the throttle, he said there's very little movement and it starts. And that's the way this gear shift is. So you want to keep it light too, so that it don't fall down. That's like when I added metal to my kickstand, I made sure it went up and it held up good. I put it down just like so far, and try to leave it go. It stayed right there, so I know it ain't weighing it down. Here's my fix for the gear shift if you need it to come out some more. And on this 1100, it is back a good ways. And I'm wearing them bigger boots. I can't really get on it. So I'll show you how I fixed it. You can see here I took this rubber off. And this is like a nail. It has a head on it, and it has a smaller part here, and it's welded on. That's so that it's strong, because they don't want that, coming loose at all. I mean, you could use a nut on the back, and Loctite. They didn't. But here, I had to put a screwdriver in there and pry this up and spray Armor All in there and get it soaked. And then I had to use a screwdriver on the outside to get that off. That thing is on there tight, but I got it. So now I look at it. I want this size. I can't get a sleeve and put on, because here it's going to be too big to get over this. That back here, I ain't going to have no support in here. So I thought, I don't want to modify this. I don't want to grind this off or cut it off, even though I'm extending it. I want to be able to take it back. Like, say if I was going to sell it and the other owner don't like this extension, he can take it right off and put it back the way it was. So the first thing I did was, I had to pour aluminum. I didn't have any aluminum. So it was 93 degrees. I'm out there pouring aluminum with the blast furnace going, so that was a treat. And what I did was, I made some aluminum rods. And this one, you can see I have aluminum tube I made, and then I cut it in half. And what it is to put it in a vise and cut it in half. I could have got my saw out and did it, but I just did it. Well, I cut it down, turned it over, cut it so it doesn't match exactly. That's why these black dots are on there. So I put it together. It matches better. Now, I made the outside to this side, which is about a ½ inch. And this side, I forget what this diameter is, but I turned the inside, then I cut it in half, so now I can put one on each side. And that takes up my room from here to here. So when I put a sleeve over this, it's not going to be wobbly and everything. Now for the sleeve that goes over to extend it out, I took another rod that I had poured, and I turned this, and I think it's 7/8 out on the outside. And when I had it in a lathe, I could only knurl it that far. I knurled it in that, and I put 4 set screws in there, so when I tighten these, it's going to be on there. So first, I put these 2 pieces on. Hold them. Then I can slide this on. And I want this out because that was in the jaws. I couldn't knurl it that far, so that'll go in the back. And I got it, and I had to, that's a ½ inch this outside. I drilled it with a ½ inch, and it wouldn't go on, so it's because I think that looks like a nail head. It was a little bit, it wasn't perfectly round, and so I had to go in with a boring thing and bore it out a little bit, take a few thousandths off. So I put that on there, and then what I'm going to do is this size set screws, or Allen, they're Allen set screws, I want to use. Now I'm pushing on the sides of those 2 in the inside. I don't want to push right on the crack where I cut it, so that's why I had to crack on top. So I'm actually pushing them two together. And what I want to do is I want to go down and get these set screws only just a little smaller. That way there won't be so much sticking out. But my boot is going to go under here and on top. But I just don't want to take a chance of catching that on my shoe. So tomorrow I'll run down and get a few a little bit shorter. Let me put that on there. Then I can tighten this side. I should tighten them like evenly, you know, tighten it on one side, a little, go back and forth, but I'm just going to do this to try it out. Then after I go to put the shorter set screws in, I'm going to put blue Loctite on them good and get them really tight. And that way this should never come off. Let me tighten it up real good. Wrong way. Let me get that. There. Now that is on there. Now these two set screws I should have had back a little bit, because this one is hitting right on the head of that nail. It looks like a nail, but it ain't gonna hurt. It'll grab it good. But if I had it to do over, I'd have moved these a little bit back and watched and made sure they were both back here. And if I get short ones, I could actually drill and put one here and one more here. But I think these four, that's not going anyplace. So, let me get the camera backed up a little bit. I have the bike on the center stand and I got my microphone cord. Let me get it. And I'm going to get up on the bike and see how it feels. Okay, let's try that. And that should help me when I ride. Okay. Oh yeah. See, clear out towards the end of that thing. It's right there. Yep. Oh man. And then the kickstand. Put it up. Look, reach right down here. And if you can see that little ball down there, it was the end of it. Now, see, I'd have had to slide over because the bike would be tilted. I'd have to slide way over that way. Now, I think I can do it pretty good like this. I can do that pretty good. Oh, man. Yeah, it's back here. If you can see it back here, it is so easy to grab. And right there. Now, I'm sitting on it just like as if I was... The brake pedal on the other side is short. It's back in there, but it's wider open. It's like I can put my foot on it, and I don't have to go underneath and pull it up. You're just pushing down. But this one, on this side, you're going both ways. And I think I'll be able to get my boot in there. So, let me put that up. Yep. Now, I'm not looking down. Okay, where's the kickstand? Right there. Yep, right behind this peg. I can just put my heel back, put my foot like this, and I got it, and it's down. Fantastic. So that is some more fixed on it. The cause I had to slide so far forward and slide, you know, on the side and everything, I scraped up the lid for the gas cap. You have a cover, the lid matches a bike. Well, what happened was I had that paint that matched pretty close. I had been using it for touch-up. Well, when I spray it in that little plastic cup, I take a brush down. I'm not getting heavy paint. I'm just getting a light part. It matched it. I tried spraying it. I was shocked how it come out. This looks terrible. And there's where I scraped it against it, which the shifter and a kickstand, especially the kickstand, shouldn't do that. Now I should be able to be back a little bit. So I'm thinking, the wife and I was at Lowe's, and I was telling her, I got to find a color. There's nothing they're going to have. You'd have to go to the auto parts. The best thing is to go to Honda, get the right paint. I said, I want something I can do now and be done with it. So we're looking around, and I'm looking at different colors. Yeah, you could put this on there, it'd be different, you know, and that. Then I just thought, look at the bike. Check the color of this, the color of this, the color of that. What if that matched this? It would blend in with the rest of that stuff, and it would look like hell. And people who didn't know about the bike would say, hey, that's the color. And these are the plastic things that were tore up, and I fixed them with the plastic weld I showed on a video, and I showed the paint. So I thought, make this the same color as that, and that down there. It would look like it was made that way. And if you want it, here it is, Krylon. And it has this like sloped lid. It's not like a square lid. It's sloped, and it's Krylon, chalky finish, anvil gray. And that's what it looks like. You could take a screenshot of this if you have this bike and you want to do it. And what I'm going to do is, you'll notice if you have one of these and it's older, these handles get real light. Now here and on the bottom, they're not bad. But I've tried a lot of stuff, so I think what I'm going to do is, I don't want to take these off, so I think I'm going to clean these real good, go over them with like alcohol and get all the stuff that I tried to use now, and I think I'm going to tape them off, get paper all around there, and I'm going to shoot them with this. They'll look like new, and they'll probably last for years. So that's just thinking about it and doing problem solving. And when you're standing here, once I have the short set screws in that probably won't show, and if they're just sticking out a little bit much, I'll take them out, grind a little bit off the inside of them, because you got to have the part to put your Allen key in. I could even shorten them up a hair more, and like I said, put Loctite on there. I could squeeze Loctite into the hole. If it goes inside, it'll help hold everything anyway. And usually I say just use a drop. That's all you need. I want a little more on them, and I'm going to put those 4 in there and take it for a ride and see how it is. Because if you look here, and you're looking at it like that, and those set screws are black, you can't even hardly see them. And if they're shorter, it won't matter. They'll just be about flush. So that was my answer to that problem. Man, I am hot. This heat kills me. I cut grass this morning. They kept calling for rain, and they're calling for rain the next 4 days. So I thought, I got to cut the grass first, get that done with. It was getting long. So have a good day. And to all my viewers, thank you for your comments. Thanks for watching. And sometimes you guys have given me ideas. You'd sent me something and said, this is the way it is. Can always use the help. I'd never turn help down. But I tell you what, this has been a venture. When I wrote it down to my nephews and had that little tip over, but when I wrote it down there, he seen me, I pulled in there, and him and his wife was there, and he goes, oh man, that bike looks great, because he had seen it was tore down, and he seen the paint didn't look that great, it just needed deep cleaned. And it, then when I detail everything, he's going, wow, that don't look like the same bike. Okay, so have a good day.